Well, it's something we will all likely experience over the course of our lifetime, grief. And tomorrow marks National Grief Awareness Day. Here to tell us more about what grief is and how we can cope with it is Shannon Bruin. She's a licensed clinical social worker with ThriveWorks in Grand Rapids. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's talk about exactly what grief is. I think most of us think we know what it is. How do you define it?
Grief is the experience of processing what we think is going to be or what we expect and what the reality is. And so often that is the process of loss, and that can be loss of people that we love, loss of experiences, changes in our life as well that we can't go back to.
Yeah, so there's 5 main stages of grief. Let's go over those.
Yeah, so grief process is, first of all, denial or sometimes shock, right? We don't expect that this is going to happen. And then it's anger and bargaining, and then depression and acceptance.
Now, I can imagine that those don't always come in the same order for everyone. Is that right?
Exactly, yeah. It's
so
cyclical, not linear.
Yeah. What do we need to keep in mind when we are grieving for ourselves? What are some things that we can remind ourselves as we go through that process?
Great question. Often people expect us to move through these processes quite quickly and then be done with it, right? There's a certain set time. We have so many bereavement days or vacation days that we can take, but that's not always the case. And sometimes grief sneaks up on us and reminders come when we least expect them. And so we need to be patient with ourselves and be patient with the process and allow there to be space to explore what grief means to us.
So how about the people surrounding the person who is grieving? First, I would think that it's probably important to recognize the person is grieving because it isn't always a loss of another human, right? You said it can be the loss of a job or something like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and it can just be changes that we're experiencing. Sometimes it's complicated by multiple losses occurring, overlapping one another. And so when we're seeing that people are grieving, we need to give them space to do that. And sometimes that means being with them in their grief, and sometimes it means allowing them to experience that on their own. So if they don't want to come to the holiday, they don't have to, right?
Yeah.
But some things might need to look different for a little while, and that's okay.
And I assume that some people grieve differently as far as, are you supposed to bring up that loved one's name? Are you supposed to bring up that job loss? Are you supposed to bring up, you know, what that person is grieving about or not?
Yeah, I think it's okay to be sensitive to the loss in people's life, but understand that people are going to experience that differently and have different needs in the process. And so it's okay to ask.
Yeah.
How can I help you? What do you need? Right.
Yeah, so tomorrow is National Grief Awareness Day. Why do we need to talk about this?
We need to talk about this because in our culture, we don't.
Yeah.
And it's really taboo to experience grief. And again, we put a timeline on this and an expectation that you're supposed to move very quickly through this process, and that's not always the case. And we're experiencing grief as a culture on the other end of the pandemic in so many ways.
Yeah.
And so we just need to continue to be sensitive to the loss around us and to the changes that people are experiencing on all kinds of different levels.
Yeah, Shannon from ThriveWorks, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me.